Last season was the first time in 7 seasons that we did not make it to the North American Champions League final, and America were very grateful of that because they were the team to pick up the trophy. The team, by the way, that we have beaten 4 times in the past. This season, we are hoping to go back to the top of North American football and win ourselves the North American Champions League. Obviously, win the Jamaican Premier League, win the Caribbean Cup, and win the JFF Cup as well. As always, at the start of the season, obviously the transfer window has just opened. We haven't done any business just yet. We do have just under £6 million to spend if we would like to spend it. We are not going to spend it, but one thing we could do is sell some clauses. We've got the Cholagov clause to sell, which is worth nothing. We've got Carson Ebanks worth £1.62 million. We've got Kwabena worth £31,000, not very good. Mansour and Benge worth £747,000, sorry. And Alejandro Lemoyne, £11.03 million at Porto. Now, I don't want to sell that just yet. He's got 3 years left on his contract. We don't need this money anymore. I'm going to ride this wave out and hope he gets sold. He needs to get some more game time playing for Porto, or maybe he might be lucky enough to go out on loan to somewhere reasonably good, get some game time playing there, develop into a much better footballer. And if he's worth 20 to 30 million pounds, they sell him for 25. Let's say we're getting 12.5 of that. If they sell him for 30, we're getting 15 million pounds, which is obviously more than 11 million. Pretty sure you could have worked that maths out for yourself. But that's my plan with the Lemoyne 50% transfer fee. I'm thinking some of these other ones we might look at selling at some point in the future, particularly the ones for players who've gone over to like Saudi Arabia. So Dimitri Gotin, for example, I don't think he's ever going to leave. So if that ever comes up and maybe we can sell it for like £4 or £5 million, we'll probably just take that money. So without further ado then, let's jump forward to the end of the transfer window. We would have kicked off the Caribbean Cup against Cibao FC, Defence Force, Racing FC or Violet. They're basically the same teams every single year at this point, aren't they? Right then, on the 6th of September, the transfer window has closed and some business has taken place. Juan Castillo, a player that we brought in, I believe, last season for not a lot of money, has moved over to Mount Pleasant FC. I did kind of intend to bring in a bunch of players who I didn't think were necessarily going to be good enough for us, but players who would get better in other teams. For example, Juan Castillo going over to Mount Pleasant. Hopefully, he gets some game time there. The problem is, he is sat in their under-21s at the moment, so maybe he's not as good as I thought he. We've also sold Ian Tomeo to Mount Pleasant FC as well. They've brought in 2 players from us. I think they actually paid about £2,000 for the pair. I don't believe we've even got any sell-ons in there, because basically, if we want to get money from some of these players, selling them within Jamaica, not the way to go. Joining the club then, a whole host of players who I don't think are going to be good enough for us. Joseph Smarth is the first one to join. He has immediately gone out on loan to Portmore United, the 20-year-old Haitian international winger and attacking midfielder. He cannot become Jamaican because he's from Haiti, but that doesn't really matter. I brought him in to send him out on loan. Hopefully he plays for Portmore United, and you never know, maybe in a few years' time he might be good enough to play for us, or we just sell him. Somebody who could possibly be good for us is Marcus Elene, maybe could be his name. The 22-year-old Trinidad and Tobago international with 31 caps, 5 goals to his name, has signed on a free transfer, signed from Newcastle Jets. No, technically from Portmore United, but he did spend a bit of time out on loan in Australia, playing 11 matches there. So we've brought him in on a free. He's going to be getting a bit of game time. I'm not expecting him to be playing huge amounts. We've also headed over to England by Northern Ireland slightly. We have signed Aidan Goldsack. He is formerly of Newcastle, spent last season out on loan at Larne in the Northern Ireland Premier League. He has come in on a free transfer once again. He's gone out on loan to Arnott Gardens for the season. This one I'm excited about and not really sure why. Mentally, looks pretty good. Physically, looks okay. Technically, looks absolutely garbage. So hopefully playing some game time at Arnott Gardens might improve him. He might get good, you never know. And then we started spending some money. Tamakari Abuo might be his name. 23-year-old Ivorian international striker, 7 caps, 2 goals to his name, signed from ASEC Mimosas. He's cost £245,000. He's good at football, isn't he? Really good finisher. Mentally looks pretty good. Physically also looks pretty good. And he's not the only decent-looking African footballer that we have signed. Michael Frimpong is next up, a Ghanaian international, 38 caps this time, 22 years of age. And he has cost us £275,000 from Asante Kotoko. And finally, from Plateau United, we have signed Emmanuel Aziz, a 24-year-old Nigerian international with 1 cap to his name. He's technically an international. He has come in for £300,000. Now, you might be wondering, you brought in a lot of players who aren't Jamaican. And yes, you'd be right. And that is because we play probably just as many matches outside of the Jamaican Premier League as we do inside the Jamaican Premier League. So all of these players, these 6 players here, are not registered for the Jamaican Premier League, but because I'm going to lock them in for the season, it means they will play Caribbean Cup games, they will play North American Champions League games, and they will also play JFF Cup matches when the time comes. So It means we've got probably not a particularly great squad when it comes to North American Champions League, but we've also got players who are good enough. They're not terrible, they just can't get registered for our actual main Jamaican Premier League squad. So Haliti will be getting a lot of game time. We've also got him playing alongside Jan Benoit, who I don't think is actually too far away from... He's Jamaican already. We probably don't need to lock in Benoit. Good. Matthijs Svek, another player who's played a lot of football for us in the past, but unfortunately has not been registered this time around. Basically, Frimpong is a better player, so Svek has lost his position. We've also got Joseph Coffey, a player who we signed many, many moons ago, and he's not really getting any game time anywhere. He's going to hopefully become Jamaican within the next couple of years, so he's going to get some game time. We've also got Arturo Martinez, the 20-year-old Panamanian attacking midfielder, going to get some game time as well. Been here for a season or so. Needs, obviously, some football. And we've also got Mateus Cardozo, another Paraguayan, this time playing on the left-hand side. Going to get some football. Signed him a year or so ago as well. So this is kind of my plan, okay? Most of these players aren't good enough for our main regular Jamaican Premier League squad, but they are better than most players in the Jamaican Premier League. It's a bit of a weird situation. I feel like this is a sensible thing to do until we'll see how well we do in the Caribbean Cup, obviously, and also see how well we do in the North American Champions League. Assuming we get that far, we should get that far. Speaking of the Caribbean Cup, we have obviously kicked it off. 2 games played, 2 victories, winning 5-0 and 3-0. So maybe playing those 6 players locked into that starting 11, maybe it's not such a bad thing. Just checking as well, the Lemoyne sell-on clause has increased by £130,000, I believe. So it's working its way up. He has played a couple more games as well for Porto. This could be interesting. This could genuinely be a very interesting sale if he ever leaves Porto. He might stay there forever, you never know. It's now the 28th of December, and we are obviously way through the season. We have played 11 league games, winning all 11, top of the table, obviously, after winning 11. Harbourview have actually won 10 as well, sat in second place. We've got a 12-0 victory against Treasure Beach, a positive 53 goal difference. Things are obviously going well there. In the Caribbean Cup, we have once again won it, this time beating Cavalier in the final, 8-1 on aggregate, and we're through to the quarterfinal of the JFF Cup. I believe that's where we start anyway. So I just want to point out, we have still got these 5 players locked in. Everyone else is able to play. So we've got players like Frimpong, Aboué, Aziz. All of these non-Jamaicans are able to play. So it is just Haliti, Svek, Coffey, Martinez and Cardozo who are getting some game time. Cardozo has 9 goals. He's only ever played in the Caribbean Cup, 8 games, 9 goals, 5 assists. He's doing quite well. He's also wanted by New York City FC. Maybe this is kind of a shop window opportunity as well. Possibly something we could think about. Obviously, the transfer window is about to open, or has technically just opened for us. We haven't done any business as of yet. I don't think I've really mentioned this, but a few other players have gone out on loan who could arguably do with some game time. Gary Sherlock has gone to Harbourview and hasn't got any games at the moment. Who else? Maxwell, I think he needs to get a bit of game time. He's gone out on loan to Arnett Gardens. He's getting better, I think. Via United are a good side, so Sean Sawyer's not a terrible footballer at all. I think as well, if we jump back to a bit of last season, so Joseph Smith, as we know, gone to Portmore. We've also got Marvin Clark, gone to Tivoli Gardens, not very good at all. Uno, also the Jamaican youngster, who's 23, are they technically a youngster anymore? He's gone out on loan to Olympic Gardens. I don't think he's ever going to get better than that. How's Goldsat getting on? He's also not playing any matches for Arnett Gardens. Anyway, let's jump to the end of the transfer window, see if we can do any business financially. We do have no money to spend because I did move it all to our wage budget, and we are now back in debt. We could do with one of these 50% sell-on clauses actually leaving. So then, on the 29th of January, our transfer window has closed, and we have sold 4 players outside of Jamaica. Mateus Cardozo, first up, the Paraguayan winger, who has played a fair few times in the Caribbean Cup for us, has moved on to Austin FC. He's gone for £30,500 with a 50% sell-on clause. Christian Gioni has moved over to Inter Miami. The Albanian international has actually been playing regular football in the Jamaican Premier League, but Inter Miami came in for him. They offered not a lot of money, £50,000, but once again, 50% sell-on clause in there. He's worth possibly up to £5 million. So that could be £2.5 million coming our way if he moves out of America. Problem is, he is stuck in the MLS, which means the whole registration nonsense, we might actually see absolutely nothing of this, because he might just run down his contract or just get released completely. Speaking of players going over to America, Javon Lewis has moved over to the Seattle Sounders. Are they still called the Seattle Sounders? They are still called the Seattle Sounders. He has gone for just under £90,000. Once again, there is a 50% sell-on clause in that. I didn't really want to do this because he doesn't count. I'd say doesn't count. He is Jamaican, so he wasn't actually a non-Jamaican footballer. But when teams like from the MLS basically come in, you can get that 50% sell-on clause in there. I think he could be good. I genuinely think he could be good. I decided to take the money. And the final one is Messash Staple. I still don't know if that's how his name is said. Probably said it different every single time. The international from Jamaica, 32 caps, who we signed from Chelsea after an initial loan spell, has moved over to Burnley for not a lot of money, £56,000. But once again, say it with me, 50% sell-on clause in there. So if he does leave Burnley, this is the dream. This is the dream type of transfer, because Burnley are not a Man City. They're not winning the Premier League. They're not winning Champions Leagues. They're not doing anything like that. If he develops into a better footballer, he might move to another team in the Premier League, another team slightly further up the table, like an Aston Villa or something like that, and they might buy him for £10 million, and we get half of that. And that was basically our transfer business. We didn't do anything when it comes to players joining the club. Obviously, we did sell the 4 players there, a couple of players going out on loan as well, but most of them, in fact, both of them, are not very good. Trey Fitton could be okay going out on loan to Treasure Beach. That's what they're called. It's literally on the screen. And financially, we are still not in a very good way at all. We did get some money in, £3 million, earlier on in the season, but I genuinely have no idea who it was. I'm pretty sure it was a sell-on clause. So if technically it was last season, I think it was that there. But I have no idea what clause it was. I mean, you might know better than me, because you might look at these and go, oh, this player's missing. I don't know who it was, but yeah, we've got rid of a sell-on clause. If we take a look at this one, we can see we've got some options to sell. So 1.43 for Ebanks. We've got Mbenge for 1.15. That's gone up. That was 7.47, I think. And Lemoyne 9.3. So that one's dropped down. He's not really played much because he has got an injury. That's not good. Could have done with you going out on loan. Anyway, obviously, we are in multiple competitions, as we always are. In the Jamaican Premier League, we are still top of the table. 16 wins out of 16. Positive 67 goal difference, which I'm not going to do the maths there, but that is a lot of goals per game. We're in the North American Champions League, moving into the second round, and it will be Nashville or America. I hope for America's sake, it's Nashville. Just having a look as well, Cavalier will be playing Chivas, which is most certainly going to be a Chivas victory. Well, next thing to do then is to jump forward to the end of the regular season. We'll be halfway through the North American Champions League as well, and I think we'll have a youth intake. Once again, in a surprise to nobody, we have won the Jamaican Premier League phase anyway. 25 wins, 1 draw. Who were the lucky team? Arnett Gardens managed to take points off of us. It meant literally nothing for them, because if they didn't get that point, they still would have finished in 5th place. We are into the JFF Cup semi-final up against Mount Pleasant, which means we've played a total of 1 match in the JFF Cup, beating Portmore United 5-1. And in the North American Champions League, we are all the way through to the semi-finals. We'll be up against Saprissa. So what's happened? In the first round, Cavalier beat Chivas. That's a massive result for Jamaica and Cavalier in general. In the second round, we get past America. What happened to Cavalier? They get knocked out by LAFC on away goals. So they almost got through to the quarter-final. A quarter-final where we win 7-4 on aggregate against Monterrey. If Cavalier got through, it would have been Inter Miami, a team I reckon they could have beaten. And then we've obviously got Saprissa in the semi-final from Costa Rica, Toronto and Inter Miami in the other semi-final. And the final will probably be Montego Bay versus, I'm going to say, Inter Miami. I didn't do this earlier, and I feel like I probably should have done. We've tweaked some things because of who is and isn't registered for the squad. Aburu, or whatever his name is, I don't think he's registered for the Jamaican Premier League. No, he is. No, I know why. He was complaining that he wasn't getting much game time, so we've put in a Buru. Martinez is still not registered. Coffee and Haliti also not registered. I believe Aziz is registered for the Jamaican Premier League, and again, he was just annoyed that he wasn't getting some game time, so we've moved him onto that right-hand side to get some football out of him, basically. He wants to be playing as a striker, and I don't want him to be a striker because Aburu is a striker. Well, one last thing to do then. Let's jump to the end of the season. Can we win the North American Champions League? Can we win the Jamaican Premier League as well? And also, can we win the JFF Cup? In the JFF Cup, we made it all the way to the final to play against Arnett Gardens, and we managed to win this one by a 1-0 victory. Dipas, with the goal here, works his way past a few players. Coffee gets the assist. Didn't really do much, did he? Arguably should have done a little bit better. We did get an XG of 2.04, but when you have 23 shots, you probably should be getting an XG of that high. But we have picked up our first, or technically second, trophy of the season. We pick up our 3rd trophy of the season, this time in the Jamaican Premier League, up against Mount Pleasant FC. Aburu opens the scoring. In fact, he did score about 10 minutes earlier, which was disallowed. Mount Pleasant FC come back shortly after the opening goal, but into the second half we go. We get a player sent off. I believe it was Buckner gets himself sent off. Tabut to Whitman, crosses the ball in. It is Buckner at the back post. It wasn't Buckner who got sent off because he scored the goal. It was Coates. That's who got sent off. Buckner with a free kick here, plays it on the edge of the area to Whitman. The Austrian-Jamaican blasts it into the back of the net, and I believe that is now 3-1 at this point. It's not quite game over yet. In the 82nd minute, Mount Pleasant FC managed to get themselves a second goal of the game. Aitken, one of our former players, finds Ellis, puts it past the goalkeeper. But we wrap the game up in the 95th or 96th minute. Aburu with the ball plays it across to Talbot into the penalty area, and the Jamaican international blasts it past Rojas. It's a 4-2 victory here. Considering we managed to let Mount Pleasant FC have 21 shots and we only had 16, and we still managed to beat them, I think this is quite impressive considering we got a player sent off. Aburu actually had 2 goals disallowed as well. It's 2. It's 2 trophies. It's not. It's 3 trophies. I always forget the Caribbean Cup is a thing. And in the North American Champions League final, can we make it 4 for 4 this season? Yes, we definitely can. Martinez with the opening goal. Obviously, being the North American Champions League, we do have a somewhat rotated side. Martinez, one of those players who only ever really plays in the North American Champions Leagues, opens the scoring for us. Once again, Martinez is in on goal here on the 43rd minute. Doubling our lead and doubling his goal tally for the match. Into the second half we go. Nicholas Welcome's throw finds Aziz back to Nick Welcome. Back to Aziz. Can he cross the ball in? He does. It's Buckner at the back post. Heads it past Johnson. It's 3-0 and we are not done just yet. We move forward into the 95th minute of the match. Buckner down the left. Finds a bit of space for Nikwan Coates. Doesn't get sent off this time around. In the middle is Matthias Svek. And the Czechia international, I believe is an international, puts it into the back of the net. And we win the North American Champions League after one season where we didn't manage to get past the second round. He's also not got international caps. He's only a year away from becoming Jamaican. You never know. Matthias Svek might become a Jamaican international. We can only hope. Speaking of players who could become Jamaican internationals, who have we got then? Sort by nationality. So Haliti, I feel like you are a long way away. You are a long way away. We've got Svek, we've just had a look at. Frimpong's only just joined, so he's got a long time to go. Joseph Coffey, got 1 year. Coffey's got a year. Jan Benoit, I believe, is now Jamaican, isn't he? We checked earlier. We've got Aburu, who's only just joined the club. Aziz only just joined. Arturo Martinez, what are you looking like? You've got a long time as well. Mohamed Cisse, I feel like you can't be far away. 1.5 years for Cisse. We're getting there. Let's also jump to our development squad, because we do have a bunch of players in here who are also hopefully working their way to becoming Jamaican as well. So Shane George, you are 984 days away, so you've got a long way to go. We know Goldsack has just signed Tyrone Baptiste. What about you? You've still got a long time to go. We've got Howaldson. You've probably got a long time as well. You do. We've got Uno. He actually can't become Jamaican, which is annoying. And Pedro Portillo, he's got a fair amount of time to go as well. I also didn't check this. I didn't check this at all. I said I was going to check this earlier, and I just ignored it. These were the youth players that came through. It's a good intake, apparently. It's an average intake. We don't ever get amazing players coming through. So our best player, in theory, is Stefan Lindsay, who's a goalkeeper. Stefan? Maybe? I'm going to say that's Stefan. He's a 15-year-old goalkeeper. He's got 7 free kicks. I'm tempted to force play him and make him take free kicks. It's a stupid idea because he's 15 and not very good. We do have Dion Gubbins, who's also 15 years old. I like Gubbins, mainly because of his name, but also he's fast. Mentally, he's all right, actually, with determination, teamwork, and work rates are the ones that you really want to have. Gubbins could be a kind of a dark horse here. Jermaine Greaves, he looks all right. Lots of 8s in there. Nothing too outstanding. Wayne McAllister, he looks good. I don't know what it is, but Wayne McAllister looks like he could be good, but I'm worried that this might be near his peak. We've got Tim Butcher, who's a centre-back. Yep, he's a centre-back. Zavon Quarry, defensive midfielder. He's the dream player that you wanted a few years ago. He's good, but he's certainly not good enough to play for us. We've also got Kiefer Roy, who, yep, he's a footballer. And Sean Jenkins, he's good. Sean Jenkins is good, but potential ability 3, current ability 2. He's basically as good as he's ever really going to get. We also signed Rod Schaff as well. I don't know why. I don't do these, by the way. I basically just get my assistant manager to pick the best players. We could be losing some absolute gems. Like this man here could be amazing. Don't think he will be, but he could be. So last thing to do before we wrap up season 19, then let's take a look at the players who scored double figures. Eleni, who I wasn't expected to play a huge amount, got 11 goals and 11 assists. In fact, he didn't. He got 12 and 12. We've got Nikwan Coates, loves the goal, 13 goals in all competitions for us this season. He's good. He's really good. I think he plays an attacking midfielder now, predominantly, because obviously Aburu's there. Speaking of Aburu, he's got 15 goals in all competitions, and he's improving. Like to see that. Kimoni Talbot, Very, very good player. I love the fact that we have a Jamaican. Yes, we did steal him, technically, from Cavalier, but he is getting good at football. 19 goals, Buckner 24 and 14 assists. He's still really good. He's still only got 8 caps for Jamaica. That's ridiculous. And the top goal scorer is Aziz with 25 goals. I think he was playing as a striker for quite a lot of the start of the season, and that's where most of his goals came, and then he just kind of dried up a little bit when I moved him over to the right wing, because I wanted a Boué to play, basically. A Boué, not a Boué, it's a Boué. Anyway, that is going to do it then for Season 19. Can we do it again in Season 20? 4 trophies this time around. Financially, we need to sell a clause, I think. I think we need to sell a clause. But I have just remembered, we move into Stuart Pearce Park over the summer. Season 20, we're going to have a brand new stadium. Well, we should have moved into Stuart Pearce Park in the space of about a month or so's time. However, there's been some complications, which means we will not move in to the stadium named after myself until the 27th of November 2044. So we'll still move into it, but we'll obviously play the first half of the season still at West Powell Park, which is actually quite a big stadium at 20,000 capacity. At the start of the season, I do want to take a quick look actually at our financial situation. Because of our stadium is quite big, we get £2 million now from season tickets. That's a lot of money from season tickets. We get £1.2 million from sponsorship as well. So every season, we are picking up, what is that, £3.5 million maybe-ish, there or thereabouts, just from season tickets and sponsorship every single season. That's massive. We are spending £12.5 million a season on various things, however, but the fact that we now need to find £10 million over the course of a year rather than 12.5, that's pretty good. It is obviously the start of a new season and the transfer window has opened, and we have already brought in a player to the club. Alfonso Leckie didn't like doing this, but we have signed him from Portmore United because he's just really good. And I feel like he was kind of wasted playing for Portmore United. I know that's not really in the spirit of building a nation, but I have done it. And I know I said I would put on sell-on clauses. I didn't. I did for D-Pass. They're getting 10% of anything. But yeah, I didn't do it for Leckie. Sorry. Speaking of sell-on clauses, let's have a quick spin through then. Cardozo for 8.19, not bad. Ebanks 1.43. Gioni for 1.37. That's actually pretty good. Javon Lewis 3.75, not amazing. And Lemoyne 9.3, so still on the low side, but he has missed a fair chunk of the season through injury. He does look like he's getting better. Is that just me? Anyway then, let's jump forward then to the end of the first transfer window. I think I'm going to do something similar to what I did last season, where basically I had a lot of players who weren't registered for the Jamaican League, but they could still play in the Caribbean Cup, the JFF Cup, and the North American Champions League. I think that worked quite well, so we're probably going to do the same thing again this time around. We've had a bit of a busy summer, and by busy, I've started to just give away players, okay? I've been giving away players to other teams in Jamaica. Sean Sawyers is the first one to go. He has moved over to Mount Pleasant FC. Basically, he wasn't ever going to play for us, so I thought they may as well take him and make use of him. O'Neill Blair is another player who he wasn't playing for us. In fact, he spent last season out on loan at VA United. He's just left. He's moved over to Portmore United on a free transfer. And Damien Dunn has moved over to Harbour View on a free transfer. Shogo Uno has also left Jamaica and moved back to his native Japan, signing for Versport for about £700? £275. There you go. Probably the plane ticket cost more than that. 3 players have joined the club, and I don't really know why I've done it, okay? Narado Aiken, first up. He's signed from V United and moved over to Yorktown. There must have been a reason for this. This one's confusing me, okay? He's got 2-star potential ability, 1-star current ability. Why did I do this? Kevon Johns is a player that I know why I did this one. I've signed him from 12th Street, and this is for potential. Hopefully, we've got a future Jamaican international here in Johns. He's come in for £25,000. I think I've got sell-ons in there. I will double check, but I think I've got sell-ons in there. And we also have a returning player. Luther de Oliveira has returned back to Jamaica, back to Montego Bay for £115,000, but obviously we get 50% of that. So it's actually only cost us, what is that, £62,500, something like that. So yeah, it's pretty good, right? That's pretty good. He's probably not going to play for us, is he? But, you know, we've brought him back. He's back in the country. 2-star current ability, 2.5-star potential ability. Probably wasted my money there. Okay, so I did put clauses in there, but I thought I'd put better clauses than this. They get 15% of the profit. I feel like if he ever leaves, I'm not selling him for much more than £26,000. I'm terrible at building a nation, aren't I? Obviously, the season has kicked off. We've played twice in the Caribbean Cup, winning against Pantoja and against Defence Force, scoring 10 goals, conceding absolutely none, and Having a look at our tactics, we have locked in some players once again. I think it's the same players from last season, so Haliti will keep his place, not in the Jamaican Premier League squad, but will be playing in the Caribbean Cup. We've also got Joseph Coffey playing in that defensive midfield role, once again, not playing in the Jamaican Premier League, but he did manage to get 14 matches, 17 in all competitions in the previous season, which he's getting some game time. He's not really getting better. We've got Emmanuel Aziz, he is registered for the Jamaican Premier League, but he'll play as a striker if I don't do this, so he's on the right wing. We've got Martinez, who isn't registered for the Jamaican Premier League, playing as that attacking midfielder, and he's actually getting pretty good. He's wanted as well by Charlotte FC. Maybe Martinez might be on his way out at some point, and Tamakari Abuwu has also kept his place in the starting 11 as that striker. Obviously, once again, he is registered for the squad. If we do this, I think we can actually see who is and isn't registered for the Jamaican Premier League. No, we can't. There's a way to do it. It must be, I mean, this is probably the way, isn't it? So Haliti isn't registered, Martinez isn't, Coffey isn't registered, and I think that is it. Yeah, so we're actually not in a terrible place. Svek wasn't registered last season and is now registered this season, and he should be becoming Jamaican probably by the start of the next season. Right, that's all of that out of the way then. Transfer business has been dealt with. Do want to do a very quick check here, and has that gone up at all? 10.78, it's on the rise. It's on the rise. I feel like he's got a new contract. He has a new contract because he only had 2 years left. He's now got 2 years, 10 months. He's abysmal because he's not in the Champions League squad. Why aren't you in the Champions League squad, mate? Oh, I feel like he's never going to play. He's never going to improve and he's never going to leave. It's now Boxing Day in 2044. And the transfer window has opened, and obviously some matches have been played. We have won the Caribbean Cup, beating Mount Pleasant 6-1 in the final. We are also top of the Jamaican Premier League with 12 wins, a 10-1 victory there, and an 11-0 victory against Treasure Beach. So, yeah, obviously top of the table, 69 goal difference as well. The other thing to mention is we have opened our brand new stadium. Stuart Pearce Park has been opened, and it has been opened emphatically. A 4th minute Fidel Lion opener against Portmore United in a 7-1 victory in the end. It looks like we haven't filled in the corners, so there's expansion capacity here, which is quite nice to see. Lecky finds Talbot in the middle. I don't really know. I'm not going to show you all the goals, but basically we beat Portmore United 7-1 in the opening match at Stuart Pearce Stadium. It finally got opened. And as you can see there, in front of 28,470 people, we are selling out, or near enough selling out. We are 1,000 short of our full capacity there. So 29,500 capacity. We are selling out at 28,500. So only 1,000 seats left to go. Obviously, it is a transfer window. No business has taken place as of yet. Obviously, you can see on the right-hand side our financial situation. We are negative £1 million in the bank, but we do have £1.2 million to spend on transfers. If we feel like we want to be doing that, we're going to spend a bit of money. We always do. Probably not 1.2 million though. We actually spent nearly £1 million, and this player cost us absolutely nothing. Jamil Oldham has been signed from Portland over in the MLS. He's a decent backup goalkeeper. 8 caps for Jamaica as well. I just like the fact that we've got ourselves a very good Jamaican backup goalkeeper. It's what we like to see. We've also spent £135,000 on Uruguayan under-20 international Gaston Perez, who is a defence midfielder formerly of Boston United and Nacional. He looks good, doesn't he? And for £625,000, we have signed Gerson Fabiani, a Venezuelan under-23 international by the looks of it, who looks rubbish. But we are paying for potential with Fabiani. He's immediately gone out on loan as well to Portmore United, because I knew he wasn't going to play for us, but he's already come off the bench once in the Jamaican Premier League for Portmore United. So I've got high hopes for Fabiani. I have just seen his personality as low self-belief. I need to start paying more attention to the personality, because I never do, and then wonder why some players just don't get good. Might need to start using mentoring. It's not been all transfers joining the club though. A few players have left, Emmanuel Aziz being the biggest name of them, moving over to Al Raid over in Saudi Arabia. Of course it's Saudi Arabia, for £85,000, possibly going up to 175, and there is a 50% sell-on in there. So yes, we have lost money on this player, but if we sell that 50% clause, we might get £6 million. So have we lost money? Dwayne Webster has also left the club, moving over to Portmore United. Came through our youth intake in the 2036 season. He's moved over for £2,600. Actually had a season a few years ago where he played a lot, scoring 13 goals, but basically has been pushed out by effectively non-Jamaican footballers who've come in and come over here and taken his job. Gary Sherlock as well, our young goalkeeper, has gone out on loan once again to Harbourview. He spent a bit of last season there, I think, Played 28, conceded 28, played 14. He's gone back there for the second half of this season. But that is it. That is all of the business that we have done. It's not really a huge amount. I'm probably most happy about Oldham. I think the Fabiani deal, probably a little bit on the steep side, let's be honest. And as we always do, let's take a look then at some of the clauses, if we can do it. So 50% there is on Aziz. We've also got Cardozo, 480k, not really worth it. Sholagov, I'm going to just sell this at some point. Carson Ebanks for 2 million. Gioni for 1.73. We've got Lewis for 340 and Benge for 1.15. Tamayo for £5,750. And Lemoyne is at 9.05 million. I think the highest we had was like 11.1 or something like that, wasn't it? He's getting game time. He's playing 11 matches. He's played 22 games now. He's played the same amount of games for Porto as he did for us in one season. I'm still hopeful. I'm still hopeful that Lemoyne is going to get a big move to a big club. It's going to be massive as well. I'm thinking £80 million. Obviously, it's not just transfer windows. We have played a few more matches in the Jamaican Premier League and dropped some points against second place Mount Pleasant, but we have also won 15 matches. Lime Hall now a 10-0 victory and a 10-1 against Barbican. We are clearly top of the table and we're probably going to win it again. We are in the North American Champions League in the second round up against Tigres. In the first round, who is it going to be from Jamaica? Is it going to be from Jamaica? It might not be. Sabao FC are there against Pumas. And it's Mount Pleasant FC against Montreal. So hopefully they can get past Montreal. I feel like they should be able to do that. And if they do get past Montreal, it is going to be Real Salt Lake or Toluca, which I think Mount Pleasant could get past them as well. I don't think they're going to be getting to a quarterfinal anytime soon. But you never know. One day, much like the 2035, like Arnott Gardens got themselves all the way to the final, maybe they can do it again. Right then, next up, let's jump to around April time. We'll take a look at our youth intake, and I'll actually take a look at it this time because I forgot last season, and we'll also hopefully finish top of the table. We'll be in the North American Champions League semi-finals as well. Table toppers once again, 26 played, 25 wins, 1 draw. We know the draw was up against Mount Pleasant. We have won 25 matches, a positive 120 goal difference. We let in 18 goals in all competitions. We let in 18 goals in 26 matches. 18, that's it. We let in 12 last season and the season before that. I haven't seen how good defensively we've been, but it's very good, isn't it? That's probably our worst season. 24 goals conceded. In somewhat of a shocking turn of events, we have been knocked out of the JFF Cup against Mount Pleasant FC on penalties. A 3-3 draw, but eventually losing on penalties means Portmore United, Mount Pleasant FC will be battling out for the Jamaican Football Federation Cup, I believe is what it is. So, the first time somebody other than us will win it since the 2039-2040 season, and the first time that we haven't been in a final since 2036-37. And possibly the most exciting thing to happen this season is we could have an all-Jamaican North American Champions League final. We are up against LAFC in the semi-final. Mount Pleasant are up against Houston. How have they managed to get all that way? So Mount Pleasant beat Montreal 6-2 on aggregate. In the second round, they beat we beat Tigres, 10-4 on aggregate. Where are they, Mount Pleasant? It was a 5-2 victory against Toluca. In the quarter-final, we beat America, of course, as naturally we would do that, wouldn't we? 6-2. Mount Pleasant beat FC Dallas 4-3. I have just seen as well, the second top goal scorer plays for Mount Pleasant, and he's not even very good. If this is the standard of footballer who's getting to the North American Champions League semi-finals with Mount Pleasant, we should win this every year without even a question. Seen as well, he's got the second highest average rating, 4 assists as well. Rex Robertson has been player of the match twice. He's not terrible, is he? He's wanted. Who wants him? Dallas and Sporting Kansas City. So, I mean, I'm happy. I'm just happy that we could have an all-Jamaican final in the North American Champions League. Let's take a look then at the youth intake that has just come through. It's not very good, okay? I will tell you that now. We've got Dayton Henry, probably the best player that we've managed to get out of there. Mentally, not amazing. Physically, not amazing. Technically, not amazing. I don't think this is a particularly good intake, okay? We've got no green talents, no elite talents. We've got 1 top talent. Everyone else is a good talent. I'm not even really going to go through them. I mean, if we have a look at Ashani Forrester, he looks good, but much like a player we had last season, he's got high current ability, but low potential. We've also got Jason Williams, similar situation. Actually looks really good. I'd probably retrain him to be a defence midfielder, but only 3-star potential, so he's probably hitting his peak fairly soon. So then, without further ado, let's jump to the end of the season. And I really, really hope that we have an all-Jamaican North American Champions League final. In the Jamaican Premier League final, we play Mount Pleasant, the team that could make it all the way through to the North American Champions League final. We managed to put the opening goal past them, Frimpong with a long-range effort after 20 minutes. 10 or so minutes later, we double our lead. Talbot finds D-Pass on the ground. Nikwan Coates is there. Aburu's in the middle. Does he find him? Of course he does, making it 2-0. And we're not done there for the first half. Eleni on that right-hand side in the middle finds Coates. In the middle again is Aburu. Is he going to go for a long-range effort? He goes for one just outside the penalty area. Puts it in the top corner, making it 3-0. But we are not finished as we head on into the second half. The 77th minute, we make it 4-0. Alphonse Lecky on that right-hand side. 3 players to pick from in the box. Coates is one of them. And Coates puts the ball away for a 4-0 victory. Will this be a repeat of the North American Champions League final, or will it be Mount Pleasant knocked out in the semi-final, or will we get knocked out in the semi-final? Unfortunately for Mount Pleasant FC, they were knocked out by Houston in the semi-final. However, we were not knocked out and made it all the way through to the final, and we opened the scoring after 5 minutes. Martinez with the goal. On the 20th minute, we double our lead. Lecky on the left-hand side can play it on either flank. Finds Aburu in the middle. Blasts it into the bottom corner, making it 2-0. A couple of minutes later, though, Houston managed to pull one back. Flores collects the ball from a poor clearance. It's McCrecky back to Flores in the middle to Poprikov, could be his name, or Popkov, might just be Popkov, making it 2-1. And then we decided we have had enough of this nonsense, and we just started scoring for fun. Eleni, with the ball edge of the area, takes a deflection, falls to Talbot, making it 3-1. Very early on into the second half, in fact, about a minute into the second half, we make it 4-1. Martinez's touch is a little bit heavy, but still manages to get there first. Then on the 78th minute, we make it 5-1. Eleni back to welcome Svek, finds Eleni in the penalty area, takes a few touches, puts it in the opposite corner. And we were still not finished. We completed the 6-1 victory in the 85th minute. Eleni can cross that ball in, first time cross. It's Aburu in the middle, puts it past Anderson. A 6-1 victory in the North American Champions League final. We are champions once again. However, I am kind of annoyed that it wasn't us versus Mount Pleasant. Not saying that I would do this, but if it was us versus Mount Pleasant in the final, do you think we could be kind of able to throw that match? Like, match fixing, it's not a thing in Football Manager, you can't really do match fixing. But then Mount Pleasant would have a North American Champions League to their name. I have just seen we managed to beat LAFC 8-1 on aggregate. Mount Pleasant only lost 1-0. Only 1-0. It was so close to being an all-Jamaican final. So we did only win 3 competitions, the Caribbean Cup, Jamaican Premier League and North American Champions League. We didn't win the JFF Cup, but we do technically have a chance to win our 4th trophy, which will be at the start of season 21, which will be the Club World Cup. We'll take a very quick look then at players who have done well for us this season. Kimoni Talbot, 16 goals, 18 assists. He's getting good. He's wanted by San Jose. We've got Eleni, 13 assists, 17 goals. He's loan listed because I wanted to try and get him some game time at another club in Jamaica. Nobody really wanted him. Arturo Martinez, considering he's only playing North American Champions League games, has scored a lot of goals for us. What was it? 18 goals, 5 assists. Nikwan Coates, 23 goals, 14 assists playing as the attacking midfielder. He's been good. Nikwan Coates is he's come through a youth intake a few seasons ago. He's just worked his way into the starting squad. And he's just kind of kept his place there. And then Aburu as our top goal scorer. What did he get? 42 goals, 12 assists. He's been here for a season and a half now, hasn't he? A couple of seasons. He's done very well. But he is wanted. And he's wanted by teams in Saudi Arabia and Qatar. If those were teams in Europe, I'd want to do it. I'd really want to do that. I'd just be, okay, yep, let's sell him. Because it's Saudi Arabia and Qatar. There's no real point to do it, is there? Right, last thing to check then. Players becoming Jamaican. 112 days left for Svek. He's going to be Jamaican at the start of the actual season. Haliti, he's got 782. Frimpong, I think he's got a while as well. Yep. Coffee might be close. Coffee has got 46 days. Joseph Coffee might actually become Jamaican. Benoit is already Jamaican. Aburu is a long way away. Martinez, I feel like he's not far away. 816, so a couple of years, or a year and 2.5 years. Mohamed Cisse, 95 days. Cisse's got 95 days and no caps for Senegal. He might become a Jamaican goalkeeper. that genuinely might happen. We've also got Gaston Perez, who just joined earlier this season. So, yeah, he's miles away from actually becoming Jamaican. I want to have a quick look as well at the reserves. Anyone here worth taking a look at? I mean, Fabiani, how did you get on, by the way? You didn't really play much for Portmore United. Your numbers might be going up. I don't know. Pedro Portillo, 805 days for Portillo before he becomes Jamaican. Haraldson, I feel like you're probably not far off either. 620, so 2 years left on you. Baptiste, probably got ages from Baptiste, haven't we? 620, so another 2 years. And then Shane George as well, another 620 days. So, we've got some play. I mean, this still amuses me. I keep forgetting that Kevin Whitman is one of our players who's in the Jamaican national team, who was not Jamaican at the start of this save. It's just fun. It's just funny. We've also got, so Whitman's in there, Delissa's in there. Delissa's actually really good, by the way. We've got Jamil Oldham, we've got Talbot is in there, we've got Coates is in there, we've got Maxwell. Maxwell's in there. He's been going out on loan every season, and somehow he's in the Jamaican national side, and so is Alfonso Leckie. He's in the Jamaican national side, and he's wanted by Al Tawoon in Saudi Arabia. Of course, it's Saudi Arabia. Just seen as well, Staples there. How's he doing at Burnley? His value is increasing. This is good. This is what I wanted to see. Speaking of values increasing, Lemoyne, he's not wanted. He's worth 40 to 60 million pounds. He's got a new contract. He's got a 5-year contract. Or next couple of years. Next couple of years, I feel like Lemoyne's making a move.